Now, in today's video, let me introduce you to a very, very interesting jet here. It's right here. Now, some people might call this an ugly plane. I don't think it looks ugly. It looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? Yes, this video is going to be a little bit interesting. Now, this plane actually did exist in real life. No, it's not a weird flight simulator creation. It's just that it's not very well known, this aircraft. Only 12 of these were built. Massive failure. I mean, genuinely, some people even call this the worst commercial failure in aviation so far, this aircraft. Yeah, not many people know this indeed, which is kind of sad. I mean, look at this. Look at the engines. Yes, anyway, this is the F-Ocker VFW614. Now, it's not pronounced F-Ocker normally, but it sounds like a bit of another word that I cannot really say unless I want to get demonetized. Anyway, so it's an F-Ocker, right? An actual West German plane, not really that much West German. It was also a bit of Dutch. So there's a lot of history. Who cares? This plane came out in the 70s, early 70s. Yeah, and yes, it was actually the first German jet and was supposed to replace the American DC-3 that we're flying around still. You know, it was great to finally have a jet. And well, yeah, the Germans did go for a very, very interesting design of plane in general. Yep, literally the engines were on top of the wings, which is very interesting and actually not that stupid of an idea either. See, with the engines above the wings, you could, for example, build the aircraft very low. It very much hangs low, so you can just easily build in steps into your plane, right? And the passengers can just simply jump out. And also, this plane can fly to some places. Yes, it doesn't need a paved runway. Yes, you know, of course, jet engines are quite sensitive. You don't want stones flying in them. This is why most planes cannot actually fly on gravel runways or anything. But this one can because the engines are pretty high above the ground. Well, we've just taken off here from Le Mans Airport, and actually this plane flies pretty well as well. I think there were some issues with this design of engines indeed though. I don't know what it really was. Maybe some turbulence, maybe some performance issues, I could imagine. But it flies very, very well. This is the interesting cockpit. Pretty typical 70s cockpit, even though this plane could also be flown by only 2 people. So, yeah, this is actually quite a step forward. There we go. There's also an escape rope here for hijackings, I think. That's actually pretty damn cool. Yep. Pretty nice plane. And now it is also quite a bit of a small plane. This thing was designed to seat around 40 people, quite generously as well here actually. You have a lot of space here. Very nice cabin design, very nice. Okay, for the future add-on manufacturers, please stop drawing people into the cabins. It's just absolutely creepy. But yeah, this is a very nice looking jet. I mean, from the inside. From the outside, it looks a little bit weird. I don't know if it's ugly or just weird. I think I'm starting to get used to it. But in general, it's got a very stubby design. Look at the stubby nose. Very crammed. Very interesting, though. Now, I've said something before about runway capabilities. This plane apparently can fly to some interesting places. Let's go ahead and do that and land it. This is how you're supposed to fly the plane, right? So that the engines are finally below the wings, just like normal. Oh, that's not been a good idea, I'm sorry. Anyway, let's come in for a landing, see how long the runway it needs. I do see one small problem. Apparently, these engines do not have reversed thrust, so that means needs a bit of a longer runway. But that doesn't matter. Let's come in for a landing. Okay, pretty butter. Let's go ahead and quickly stop this plane. Let's hope it does stop as well. Come on. There we go. Oh, I think. Whoops. I might have been a bit too hard on the brakes. I think the tires are blown. But we stopped. That's the point. But no, as you can tell, this plane flies wonderfully, lands wonderfully. So why did it fail? Actually, I don't know. It's actually quite a long story. Yeah, the failing of this plane was due to several factors. For example, there was a prototype that completely crashed because of an elevator flutter. So, lots of control there, to put it this way, even though actually most of the crew on board that flight survived. But there also were some problems with Rolls-Royce, who made these very interestingly placed engines. They went bankrupt. So, you know, there was some definite issues with the production as well. That's just really strange because this aircraft was projected to be very successful. People thought, you know, this is gonna have a lot of sales. But you didn't. Yes, indeed. Only 19 were built. And most of them were actually for the Air Force and everything. Some smaller airlines used this one. Air Alsace. It's dead, says was. Climber Air, was. And Terrain Air Transport, was. Yes, most of the airlines that operated this plane are also just as dead as the plane is right now. It was finally retired in 2012, which is actually quite sad here. I mean, this is a very nice looking jet. Just a PR failure of a plane, isn't it? Even though, still, I cannot 100% explain why this plane completely failed. Just people didn't want it. Of course, there were better planes. Some other F-Ocker planes that were better. Let's go ahead and stop. That was a bit of a hard landing, but doesn't matter. This flight simulator is used to my hard landings, isn't it? There we go. Oh, yeah, we have already lost the tires again. Great, but this is actually some good stopping performance that this plane is offering. Great, I like very much. I mean, you know, it's very special of an airline. It was the only airliner ever to have engines above wings, which, you know, weird because it's actually quite a practical design for regional airliners. Of course, its range of 1,000 kilometers barely is not all too good. Also, the service ceiling of 25,000 feet was not all too good. Let's just ignore that. The range really sucked. Now, since this runway nicely worked out, actually, let's maybe try some shorter one. I don't think this even cares, this plane, does it? Alright, team. So, y'all remember Lacher Airfield? Yeah, Lacher Airfield. Let's go ahead and land. It's got a grass runway, and it's not very long. Why am I even doing this? This is probably not going to work anyway. Let's try this anyway. Come on. Oh, shoot. Oh, very bumpy. Very bumpy. Very not good. Oh, this is not possible. Is it? Is it not possible? Oh, wait. I think this might just work. I think this might just not work. Why did I even attempt to land here? This airport is completely broken as well. Great. Yeah, that's what the landing looked like here. A little bit of a bumpy place. That's not how it looks like in real life. A little bit bugged, this little airport, maybe. But this is actually, I mean, somehow worked. So maybe let's try this place here. Helgoland Airport. 500-meter long asphalt runway. Probably not an issue for this little plane. Very nice to fly, actually. I do like this. All right, let's come in for a landing. All right, bit of a Ryanair touchdown, but let's go ahead and, oh, we have blown the tires again. Let's go ahead and stop. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Please do it. Don't fail on me. Oh, we have caught a person in half. Did you see that? Yeah, that's not going very well. Just a normally wonderful professional touchdown here, isn't it? Yeah, that's not gone very well. Okay, this is a 475-meter long runway. Not even a Cessna can fly here. Yeah. So yeah, that is the wonderful fairy tale of this very interesting aircraft. It looks very interesting, but it's not only interesting from the looks, it's just absolutely an interesting of a story as well. Especially how epically this plane failed. It's actually quite an epic fail. Quite sad, actually, too. I do like it, apparently. So yeah, wonderful fairy tale of the F-Ocker VFW 614, and that is just a wonderful name. Maybe it's because of the name that this plane failed, because it's just absolutely unrememberable. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night. Now, thank you to my members here on YouTube like Block, Emite, Mubarak, Mike, Ethan, Darren, Stefan, Ian, Oman the Human, Rafael Brukowski, Junk in the Trunk, Moritz, Toby, Great Grandpa John, Government Pasta, Calamity Airlines, Kelly Chaos, New York, Tyler Park, Cheese Doritos, Shadow, Anime Planes 001, X-Men Show, Deslama, Futuring, Kellen, Me By You, Captain Cameron, Spiro, Gary, Norwegian, Bajel, and Parology.